Hey guys! Today I'm going to be talking about my personal practice routine, how I break it up, some examples for every category, and how you can work it into your daily practice. My name's Davis Yates, and this is Guitar Control. Hey, so before we get started today, you're just going to want to go down and grab the PDF for today's lesson. It's going to have the tab for all the exercises we're going to be doing, as well as kind of a general layout for all of the ideas and concepts I'm going to cover. So that's going to help you a lot. So let's get right down to it. When I talk to a lot of my one-on-one students about how they practice or how they think they should practice, there's a lot of different ideas out there. Some people think that you should practice for 8 hours a day and do some kind of 2 hours of this and 2 hours of that and just have some kind of crazy practice routine. But most of the people I know, and myself included, just don't have the time for that sort of thing. What I found works best for me and for a lot of my students is to just try to get daily practice in at a smaller amount of time. I like to shoot for 15 or 20 minutes a day. If you can do that, you're definitely going to see results. Another issue I run into is people thinking, okay, well I can practice 20 minutes a day, but am I really getting anything out of it? That's why I've come up with this 4-category system to break my practice up into chunks and to know that at the end of the day, I'm getting something out of it. Now these 4 categories are first of all warming up, second of all working on technique, third of all getting some kind of new knowledge or working on my weaknesses, and fourth, working on songs and building or maintaining my repertoire. So let's get right into the first thing, the warm-up. Now the warm-up is an incredibly important part of any practice routine, I believe. I think that if you do a proper warm-up, you're going to get your fingers, all lined up, your 2 hands together, and everything that you play after that's just going to sound so much better. There's lots of times I've gone to play a song I've played lots before, and I wonder, why isn't it sounding right? Well, of course I can't play those blazing fast runs if it's the first time I picked up a guitar that day. That's why I think that the first time you pick up your guitar, you should try to just do a quick warm-up. And now there's a lot of different warm-up exercises. What I played in the intro was a spider walk, which is just 1, 2, 3, 4 on each string. Working your way up, and then 4, 3, 2, 1 on the way back. And that's a really common one. But what I wanted to show you here today is a slight variation on that. What I like to call the left-hand finger pair exercise. And now this works your fingers in pairs. So you're going to be working your first and second fingers, your second and third fingers, third and fourth, first and third, second and fourth, and then first and fourth all together. So that's going to look like this. You're going to go back and forth between the two. So it starts out 1, 2, and 1. Then you're going to do 2, 3, and 2, 3, 4, and 3, 1, 3, 1, 2, 4, 2, and finally 1, 4, 1. So let me just play that all the way through and you'll hear how it sounds. And now just like the spider walk, you can do this on each string and work your way all the way up and all the way back. And another great way I like to do this that's a real left-hand killer is to do it with hammer-ons and pull-offs. Now because we're going up to the next finger and back, instead of picking each one like this, what you can do instead is pick the first note, hammer onto the second, and do a pull-off to get you back to the first. Now that would look something like this. This becomes a real killer once you get to the fingers like your ring finger and your pinky. So as you go through, that would sound like this. Hammer on, pull-off, 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 hammer on, pull-off. So I think you'll find that if you do that all the way up and down, even just one time, you're really going to be warmed up. Now once I've warmed up, that's when I like to start working on some technique. Now there are a ton of technique exercises that you can do, from picking to legato exercises, scale work or string crossings, and that's what I really think is a beauty about doing this sort of a categorical system, is on any given day, I could do any one of those. I don't need to do them all. I just pick one of them, any one of a dozen that I've read about. And if you're on the internet at all, I'm sure that you'll find way more exercises than you could shake a stick at. So there's really no shortage of exercises that you can work into your practice routine. But I like to avoid the feeling of needing like I have to do all of them in any given practice routine, because then you just burn out. And besides, I want to get to the fun part, playing songs. Now the technique example I'm going to show you today, I came across in a John Petrucci video on YouTube. And this is one that works alternate picking through string crosses, but not just regular string crosses, string leaping really. So you're going to want to have the PDF pulled up for this one because it can be a bit tricky to learn. But once you get the hang of it, I promise you'll never forget it. So it's going to be based around this G major bar chord shape. Now let me just play it through once for you so you can hear what it sounds like. Now you can see I'm leaping strings all over the place, and I'm always keeping this steady alternate picking, so down, up, but I'm starting on the E string, and then the D string, the A string, and the G string, so always a string apart. So I'm skipping a string and going to the next higher one. When I get to the top, I do 2 notes on the high E string, flip it around, and go back the other direction. So let's do it 1 note at a time here. 3rd fret E string, 5th fret D string, 5th fret A string, 4th fret G string, 5th fret D string, 3rd fret B string, 4th fret G string, 3rd fret E string, 7th fret E string, back to 4th fret G string, 3rd fret B string, down to 5th fret D string, 4th fret G string, 5th fret A, 5th fret D, and finishing on 3rd fret E. Now you'll notice when I played it in the intro, I didn't just stay in that one position. What's great about this is you can slide it around and get the feeling of playing in different spots of the guitar and getting really kind of cool chord progression sounds when you do that. This is also a great point in your practice routine to do some metronome exercises. And now if you need an example of that, Mike B's got a great video on a good metronome exercise for beginners that's really going to get your timing and rhythm to the next level. But let's get on to the next section of our practice routine. This one I like to call my weaknesses or my new knowledge section. So there's kind of 2 ways to go about this. One is that I just try to find some new material, something that I've never worked on before. You can go on YouTube, or I've got lots of books that I'm working on, and I just find something new that I haven't done before, and I just try to learn something. You know, it could be a new chord shape, it could be a new scale, it could be all sorts of new things, a new rhythm maybe, just something new. I find that keeps my practice really fresh and makes me feel like I've accomplished something by the end of it. And now the other thing you could do is, we all know what our own weaknesses are, even if you don't like to admit it. And so sometimes what I'll do is just focus this time on working one of my weaknesses out. Or taking a part of a song that I find really hard, maybe it's a part of a song that I always struggle with when I play it, and I'll work just that part of the song. It can be really rewarding to finally make some breakthroughs on these sorts of things. Today though, since I don't know exactly what your weakness is, we're going to be learning something new. We're going to be taking a lick from an AC/DC song called Have a Drink on Me. We're going to learn that, and I'm going to show you how to take that and even go further and expand on it. So the lick itself sounds like this. And so what I'm doing on that is I start on the 7th fret of the G string, and I'm sliding from 7 to 9. Then I play 8 on the B string. I'll slide back from 9 to 7 on the G, do a pull off to 5, then I'm going 7 on the D string. Then I get one more 7, 5 on the G. I like to do a little bit of a bend right here so you can see my fingers just bending downwards just a little bit. And then I end on 7 of the D string. So altogether we've got a slide up, B string, slide down, pull off, and then D string, and then finish off on the 7, 5, B. Alright, so it sounds a little like this. And now that's not all I like to do. Let's say that you've learned this lick. Now, a lot of people will learn a lick and then that's the Have a Drink on Me lick, and they only ever play it when they play that song. But what I find a lot more useful is, okay, how many other ways can I play this? How many other keys can I play this? What context can I use? Can I break this up into little sections? I want to really get my money's worth for this lick. I don't want to spend, years of my life learning 100,000 licks. I want to learn like a couple, but know I'm really good. It's like the old saying, if you're not the man who has practiced 1,000 kicks once, but the man who has practiced one kick 1,000 times. Except we're not practicing kicks, we're practicing licks. So let's see where else we can play this. Maybe we could play it higher, an octave higher. So this is a D sliding to an E. Those are the notes. So I know, and maybe you need to learn your fretboard a little bit more, but that's all right. I know that you can slide from a D to an E, also from the 15th to the 17th fret. So knowing that, I could play this lick here. So that's pretty cool. Now I know 2 places to play it. Well, what if I played it an octave lower now? So again, a D sliding to an E, I could do that on the A string here. And if I did that, you'd get this. Sweet, well now I know 3 ways to play it. Well, what if I need to play it in a different key? Well, I know that this is taken out of this A minor pentatonic box right here. So, if I need to play it in E minor, for example, and I know that the E minor pentatonic box is here, I can just borrow the same shape and I can play. And now I know it in 2 keys too. But what if we broke it up into a smaller section? This is a great lick to know. Just 3 notes, but how many times have I played that? Countless times. Or maybe I want to take the second section of it. That part right there. That's also a great lick to know. Or even just that, and I could play that here. You see, there's so many different ways that you can practice just taking one lick, finding different places to play it, finding different keys to play it, finding small parts of it, breaking it up into its tiniest components, and that can be a really valuable part of practice time. So after you've done all that, it's time to get to my favorite part of practicing, doing songs. Now there's a few different ways that you can do this. You can be learning new songs, you could be playing songs that you already know, you'd be playing along to backing tracks or to your favorite songs on YouTube. You'd just be writing down lists of songs that you want to learn, your dream songs or songs that you want to perform for your friends or for your family. And this can also be a really great time if you're currently taking lessons, or if not, you might want to consider taking it, because you can talk to your teacher and maybe your teacher might know some songs that are going to be helpful for you to learn at the level that you're at. Because another part of this is if you pick a song that's way too hard for you, it's easy to get discouraged. There's also lots of online resources that are just full of songs. I know at Campfire Guitar Star we've got the Stairway to Strumming course and the 60 Song Collection course, and these are just filled with all sorts of different songs that you can learn to play, and you can trust that the tabs are good. So this is also the part of my practice routine that I'm going to stretch a little bit longer than the others if I have the extra time. Learning songs can be kind of a time-consuming process, as can playing them. If you've got a dozen songs that you want to play through, you might spend more than 5 minutes playing them all. But that's alright. I think playing songs is really the fun part of playing guitar, and that's the time that you should spend the most time on. Get the hard work out of the way in the first 15 minutes or so, and then just enjoy the rest of the time you have on your instrument. Then when you put it down, you can rest assured that you spent that first 15 minutes really putting the work in to become a better player. So that's all I had prepared for you guys today. I hope that gave you some good ideas for how to maybe improve your own practice routine and how to make it more of a daily thing. If you have any questions or comments or concerns, just, pop those in the comments section down below. Leave an old like and a subscribe, and I hope you have a really great day, and I'll catch you in the next lesson.